I was looking at the Mars placement in Aries, and well, for the rest of the month we have Mars in Aries, and then in the middle of the month we have Mercury that moves out of Aries into uh, into Venus-ruled Taurus. So now we've had Jupiter in Taurus, which wouldn't be as exciting because Taurus, but Uranus has been in Taurus, so we had this conjunction, and now we're going to have conjunctions also. The Taurus is very excited this uh, time with, well, it's 7 years that Uranus will be in a sign, I think, and it starts to rattle up and change and electrify, and it's very Aquarius. It's very like, let's think out of the box now. You have to do something different, and it's nothing but better, because we're getting more and more intelligence. And what is that intelligence really but being able to be? The very, like Bruce Lee says, the nature of water, my friends. It's very electrical, but it's just adaptable, and it's, boy, electricity is a good way to talk about it if we want to consider how conductive water is, right? Don't get it around electricity because they're like going nuts together. But anyway, with Jupiter in Taurus, it's not a very strong place for Jupiter, I don't think, because it expands the Taurian quality. Taurus is Venus, and well, you can imagine. I mean, but really, yeah, it's just the expanded quality of Taurus, which sits in the meadow and eats cud all day and sits in the sun and says, not really, rose-colored glasses. Like, no, actually, that's not really even my problem. It's very Buddha. It's like, we've got to grow up out of that, really. I mean, that's, um, we have to get our masculine side on. It's a little bit too relaxed. I mean, a lot of people would agree. I'm here as an Aquarius, and I can start bitching about it, but really, that's what Aquarius needs to learn is, would you calm down? Do you even need like 3/4 of that shit? No. You're perfectly intact without a lot. First of all, because you don't even know what it's for and what it can do. So stop. Now you're just given all this technology and cell phones and TV sets and whatever. Good luck. Can you use it the right way? The closer you get to recording yourselves and interacting algorithmically, what comes up the most, and pinning it up and saying, look, the more closer you're getting to using it, and because out of it all, there's one section that needs help, and there's one section that's actually helping things, right? There's two types of people that went into by the way, I've been stressing this in just about every video I've been making, and it's good to adopt this very down home, more real, generalized concept onto the global population, because there's the heart and the mind, and that's what we're talking about, the two. And now we're going to really get into some gibberish and Babylon about how to express those different intelligences coming from those fields, okay? One is fake intelligence, artificial intelligence, the mind, binary processor, narcissist. The other is the heart, which I was talking about earlier. There's this electrical capacity that is actually beyond um, the speed of light. If we are looking at the capacity of mind itself, which is God, there's the mind of God, and then there's the human mind that's here going, I'm trying to log in from the outside in when really I should go from the inside out because I have to turn myself on and get my senses going and then register, and it kind of goes like that and then comes back in, and now you're rounding and looping through. You're a loop to loop, and why not loop through reality and the truth instead of just your mind, starting at youth. Whatever was programmed there about what could be identity, just whatever the transmitters around you, the people, narcissists, are projecting heavily based in their insecurity of just disappearing altogether, which, like I said in the last video, it's gotten 11 likes. Thank you, by the way. They aren't there. They aren't there enough to feel secure. I mean, they can't be there. I mean, it's just reality here, and we're having an experience. and we are just the experiencer. We can't be those experiences. We log in. The best way to use your mind is to never walk away as a loser, is how we would say it. Just get the good things, whatever it is, believe it or not. I mean, you stepped in a pile of turd on the lawn barefooted. You can get into the experience. What did you learn, if anything at all? It wasn't warm enough to warm your foot up. If it was cold in the morning, there was something. There had to have been something. If anything, how good it felt to wash it off and get it all clean. It's like I've never kept my feet clean ever since. Clean feet are good. Got something good out of that one. Huh? You know, in case the kids are watching, they can laugh too, and that's good. You want to produce laughter. That's like the goal. In case you wanted to know what the goal was, not in other people either. Just produce it in yourself. Try to wake up in the morning and figure, what are you laughing at? Oh, I'm laughing at me. That's funny. And it doesn't have to be like this, like what you think. No, it's not a freaking Three Stooges act. No, no. It's actually like you just feel the bliss of it all. I have to be more specific. There's a different kind of laughter that just says, another day. When I breathe deeper, I feel just this bliss of having done something right, which is what? Let go into the information, or the what's informing, whatever it might be. Now there's two here, remember? And when you catch on to the truth, then that means your heart is there, because the mind isn't capable. Your mind is waiting. It's like, oh, aren't you going to do something today? Right? And then you're like, well, yeah, I think so. It's good to start out with just jamming your, God, this fucking video. Explore your body. Find out what feels versus what feels, what feels good versus what feels bad. Yeah, try and keep your ear out. Is anybody else doing this? And then match it up. This, that resonates. And then you can write a little book. It's important to become an author of something, become an authority. But the best ones, they do it behind the truth. Start with your 5-pointer. Use your orifices. See what the effect is. You have a laboratory that will store the information, and don't store it too hard. Just the main thing is, how did I learn to learn? Thanks for listening to this, guys. We would want to communicate something beautiful and wonderful. By the time that Mercury gets into Taurus, we're going to give way to just that. I don't know if Mercury in Taurus. It's Mother's Day, and it's going to accent. That's when it kind of goes in. It's like the day after Mother's Day or something, on the 16th. It goes into Taurus. So happy Mother's Day. It's very Venetian time of year. I mean, it's yeah. If anything, you have Father's and Mother's Day, but it's really a masculine and feminine day. It could be seen that way, and seen as the mathematic that it is, of the equation that's here that's trying to work. I was going to begin this video, and I'll start it now. Hi, how are you doing? About how there's the reversed universe, and I was going to come directly from there, and it would have been the most comical thing. I was trying to do it in my mind, but what happened is I had to empty space on my computer to start recording more, and then the channel went away. But it's going to come up more and more. I mean, I can see it. I have been looking at something. I wish that I can get it all down and write it. See, what's going to happen at the end of the month with Jupiter going into Gemini, away from really the very low-key, unexpressive, doesn't talk much. I mean, it's better to just, it's Venetian, Taurus is, and so is Libra, and they're both known. I mean, Libra is definitely known to be kind of more on the side of don't confront, keep the peace. In the name of peace, don't just stand up and say, excuse me, that math is wrong, and it's very blah blah blah, like stupid. Basically, you have to correct something. You have to say something and get angry. You have to use fire. That's what Aries will say, did you forget about me? God, I am. And say, whoa, you can't get past these bound Aries. Bound Aries. Don't bound Aries. There is a reverse universe. We can talk about it. It's a beautiful word, bound Aries. Bound Aries. Boundaries. Bound actually means in the positive way. It means bouncing. It means to not overthrow, but jump over. Bound. Leaps and bounds. Bound Aries. See, Aries is known to do bounds and leaps. They are the pioneers, and you should never hold that part back inside of you. Let it express, because from there your evolution is going to start moving. That's really where it is. You can find out where your Aries is in your chart. A lot of people don't have it like I do, which is on the first house, which rules Aries, first house, Mars. They mean the same thing basically. To teach it correctly, really, just basic good astrology. Evolutionary astrology that starts to move forward in consciousness, and the squares represent those hard knocks. It's like, well, Aries is having a little bit of trouble with Cancer over there, and Cancer says, yeah, no, maybe you should get some rest and slow down. And would you like to get out of the rain? And you're not wearing any shoes or gloves. Can you put some on? Put a jacket on. Do you feel? And Aries is like, whatever you do, don't make me do that right now. I mean, I was just in the middle of pioneering, and I've got icicles hanging off my mustache. But it's always good to make it inside and unthaw. See, um, Cancer has a shell. It represents the home and the shelter, the warmth there, the safety, the warmth, the womb, feminine mother. Yes, it rules the moon, feminine mother. Let's get back to, that kind of sneaks in there, but it's moon ruled. But we have the feminine here that we point at too within our language and also in astrology. It kind of goes male, female, male, female, male, female. Um, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. You see what I'm saying? It switches, but they say that Gemini is neutral. There's two, and it represents the lovers because there's two, and there it is, the male and female figures there, and they're kind of doing this energetic thing. It's communications. Now you start talking about it, and it's really pointing at pure science. Really, I've dialed in on the scientific anomaly behind the expressions of all language, really, especially in the English connotation, backed by now you add astrology in there and how they point at it and all of the symbology, um, that of course can be translated from other languages, but we have English language that is primary now. I don't know if you've noticed, like everybody in every land must learn the English alphabet and language for a reason. It's because it's an interfacing system um, sent down from benevolent beings who live in outer space. You're a PC. And if you figured out the real equations now I was talking about, because it's very much related to men and women, just the basics here, go general. There is a way through this interfacing system to start to see your down home intellectual belongings in case you wanted to graduate into being a human being and go get into outer space. Just let it come in through perception without a projection of anything. See, the problem is through language that's happening. It is like, oh wow, if you knew what I knew, and I think I'm pretty much the only one in the Western Hemisphere, if not the entire world. But I think it's more like the Western Hemisphere because in Africa, there's a tribe that holds this fact together. They do space travel in a totally different way. They use their bodies. We are so amazing. Our physical bodies, when we turn on our senses and start interacting with the account of reality here, it's like an application. Have you downloaded your account to reality yet? It's just this space. I say like between your nose and your hand, but you can take your hand away. Keep going to the edges of the universe. It is now. Woo! Come on, let your Aries sit there and go, huh? I don't know, the Aries rising would get it, so does the sun, and like, thank God, yeah, I like you, hey, let's check it out. Oh, yeah, it's just a here now thing, like, I mean, can you keep up with your real life? Christ, how am I doing? R is, baby, R is. Awesome. Thank you. Nothing but energy. And in case the kids are watching, why not animate into something divine, which is just celebrating? Celebrating through an expression. Yes, words can be there. Um, it's all about the intention behind it, right? The way we use our words, you know. Kids, and now if you want to talk about kids, that's what Aries points at. It's the first, the infant really points at those formative infant years of how sensitive your skull is now still forming, but you're emotionally speaking to your environment and gathering everything you need to know by the age 3, your emotional personality and how you will be reacting according to what you experienced is sealed, kind of a thing. And I don't know if that corresponds with saying that yes, your skull is already kind of now formed its basic skull, but it's not. I doubt if it's all the way hard. You know, hardened. We get hard headed later on. We you know the infant child and toddlers, their bodies are very pliable and elastic and jello-fied, you know, because they're going to take falls and stuff like that. You know that, right? Good, all right. So would you leave them alone? Gee, let them fall on their ass and don't get so panicky. They're looking at you like, and when you panic, they go, ah! That's all that happens. Otherwise, if you laugh, they go, then they'll start running away again. And as narcissists, having kids, that's what you want. You don't want them. Just have them run clean away. I'm just kidding. Actually, narcissists are the helicopter people. They do not let their kids be kids or anything. They're just bubble wrapped. And when they start trying to get it's an argument from fucking the day that those kids, which is age 5, 4, you'll never see a more disturbing thing than the narcissist starting to argue with a kid like serious stuff. It's a threat to our ego that this child wants its way a certain way. Just let it do an experiment. Even though you know it's not going to work, just let them do it. Just hand them whatever it is they think it's going to work. Just tell them you might get hurt. No, Don, I don't mean it like that, but you know what I mean. Just let them have it. What are you going to do? I've seen it where it's just too much sheltering, and narcissists want to be everybody's senses for them because they want everything control, right? It's like pretty soon they fall into being controlled like crazy because they're trying to be everybody's senses, man. It's like, can you stop and meditate for a minute? And God, talk about go to Taurus. Go to Taurus and go out into Mother Nature. Go out onto the earth. Try to handle. See, you want to go with a guide first, I guess. You go to a club where somebody's going to take you for a hike, and their energy is totally absorbed of. They don't really need those people there, but they know how to be there with them and say, well, watch your step and be careful of the branch. And really, if it's a good trail and a good trail hiker, it's all cleared. And it's just the moment with just hearing the rustling of the boots going through the dirt and the leaves and breathing the mountain air and finding out whether or not you like this. See, narcissists, I'm sorry, babes, but they don't like anything. Now I'm getting on your favorite subject matter, and that's just something that is kind of there that, see, in case you didn't know if you were a narcissist or not, here's a key. It's very general and it's true. Narcissists do not like a single thing in life, nothing. Here's what they like. They do have a like that's not non-existential. They like holding up something in their mind, and then that needs a lot of protection, but really it's the desire of the mind, what it is. Now, what they like is attention. That's all. Attention. Um, Attention on them in a certain way that doesn't have anything to do with anything else but them. Say, now that says that it annexes the truth away. They don't have any interest. So it's really just like this, they put masks on for interests because it can't just be uh, a toddler there that needs all of this support and help, like really their faculties to be turned on to get a fucking interest in life and to hit something real out there and start the reverse loop and get it into you that these are experiences you're going to be having. Like, have you ever experienced citrine crystal? I and citrine have a special um, relationship. I mean, I had no idea, but it was around in my 20s. I went on a trip, or was I 30? And I noticed, well, somebody knew about crystals, and that's when I just like was like, whoa, it's true. I mean, come on, they're packed with information, and the citrine crystal. I want citrine. Uh, and we can read what it means, but maybe you can read it in the comment section down below. But I've been wearing this lately. Thanks for listening to all of this. Not losing my place, really. This subject matter is right along the lines of Taurus, and we're moving into Taurus. Mercury is going to go there. Mars will go there towards the end of the month. But there's a huge bunch of Taurus in the air, which is feminine. It's the sacred feminine. It's the earth. It's the one that has these crystals in it. Why? What is it? And how amazing they are. We use crystals, by the way, for your phones have crystals in it. Radio transmits information somehow. It's really out of this world magical, but really it's something that human beings can catch on to, and they can know these things. And a lot of it's ancient wisdom and knowledge. That's what a lot of the feminine side of our organization here is. If you haven't noticed whose organization it is, babes. Who organs? She has organs forming in her organ. What's better than two lips on a piano? Roses on an organ. Get it down right. Trying to talk about, sorry. See, I think the divine masculine would agree. See, the divine masculine agrees with the divine feminine. They resonate, in fact. It's like this. He starts vibrating. He's like, oh, no, yeah, that's why I get up in the morning, because do you see that woman over there? I hope she accepts me into her garden, into her. Babes, that is the truth. And if anybody is trying to say the opposite, babes, this is what's wrong with society. And here I am talking childrenless, and you know I love a woman's ability to choose. Really, she can choose quietly or out loud, uh, uh, whether or not a life comes through her or not. If it's dangerous, society, which it is, she chooses quietly, and she could take birth control. You think about it, she could take it from the get-go. And see, the problem with birth control, the kind that she doesn't isn't allowed to make. You see, I don't know if you know the story, but they killed off women. There's a lot of evidence of this, and even I think Jesus, oh babes, that was a woman. She threatened the church, probably because she had safe birth control down and she could control men and just say, we do it like this. And see, there is a occupation on this planet called human beings, and they have an army called men, and they can be converted into being human beings. And I say that she does that through her sex. Does he mind it? Well, he has a mind, but no, he doesn't mind it at all. She's there doing a dance and saying, excuse me, pardon the language, but fuck your mother and fuck your sister and fuck the TV set version of woman. I'm here, and I'm jumping up and down on what? Something that you think you want, but I'm going to make you see more and more what you really want, which is you want your body. You want your bodily experience. You want this realm. You want the earth, right? You want all of this to be yours. Well, to get ownership of that, you have to go with the woman. Is there a mob coming, Jesus? Hell yeah, there is. I love you. Keep going. Bad ventriloquism, by the way, isn't it? It is scary. However way you go. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. As far as an empowered woman who says, no, this is all mine. And if we don't do it this way, which is humanely, now, babes, I am talking about women and men, the divine masculine and divine feminine. We don't see that. We don't see it out there much. We see a very, boy, well, we see spiritual possession happening. I'm sorry. And kind of just peeking out like, what? That kind of sounds, I mean, I was doing a natural thing. Was I natural? Instead of like, because what we're talking about now is like transhumanism and what's that? But, and then all this other trans stuff. But see, I'm not against exploring sexuality, you know, but now let's just get into this transhumanization. That's not the word to use. Dehumanization is it? See, the language that they keep coming up with that is always, it is terrible. It's see, they're not letting you know what transhumanizing means. It's reversed. They're saying, oh, that's a bad thing. And when you agree to that, Intergalactic Monitor says everybody seems to agree that transhumanizing is bad. When all it means is to move across the possibility of being human. Let's look and expand transhumanizing. The thing we're worried about is complete dehumanization. Nobody mentions it. Everybody's like, what about we don't want that. Transhumanization. And it's like, no, that's dangerous. All around, it's dangerous. Look at it. It's like, the big warning, not just through technology, because language is your technology. It's been weaponized. Unless you see how to decode the flat line, lowercase cases, and get up into the capital. All the vowels are supposed to be capitalized for a profound reason. I go through this as a channel through Facebook. I start channeling, and it's better to teach it while you're reading, because if you see the way that the symbols are placed, I was trying to explain, I'm not going to get into it now, but you begin to see the waving. It's doing something for your mind that is different than trying to understand a word. There's energy, there's pure science here, there's the way things work physiologically. There's math, there's energy, there's the non-physical, which is the vowels, and then there's the physical, which is the consonants. And I don't know I'm not a rocket scientist, and if I know anything, I know 0.02% of what the symbols are pointing at, but it's really simple. Some of it is just as simple as any child can start to help us. But the main thing I'm understanding is to understand the capitalized vowels in the basic words that everybody has to learn, which is the, they, their, the, where, here, when. You have to know when to put these now in a certain order. See, a lot of foreigners have a problem with it. Well, how do you say in a certain vibrational frequency? And I'm telling you, there's something more to it than what meets the air and the eye, and the ear and the eye. As far as these symbols, and you begin to know that this is space language leading you back to creation of creation. We have creators up above. Very simple, isn't complicating. This is what's dangerous about, and see, this is what's being held. This is the same video I'm trying to tell you. Is in Africa, there's a tribe that holds this vibrational frequency. It's between men and women, and they don't talk to each other, the way we sound and talking to each other. When they do, if it's voiced, it's very telepathic there, and they already know what to do. But what's happening is when they do speak with each other, it's a celebration of something. It sounds like singing. It sounds like a beautiful song, especially between the men and women. They kind of sound differently, and when the vibrational frequency happens, it's going like this. Okay, literally, it starts to do this beautiful oscillation that they're getting it right when it sounds like this beautiful music. All they're doing is reminding each other it's something simple. It's like, well, it could be something like, and they don't locate these civilizations. We don't see them. There's outskirts that are vibrating with this tribally, and it's woman ran, and nothing can touch the center of them. There is warring. The more and more the density happens, as far as they don't understand, they don't get it. See, there's queens that keep in communication with the higher up, and it's a very they need our help. They're doing a lot interdimensionally as far as downloading information the way they can. It's really not going to be overridden. They know and are in contact with the white um, race, if you want to talk about aliens, but no, it's benevolence, and it's all benevolence amongst all of the colors. I was trying to explain that, but there is hijacking going on. See, not everybody is born into, what is it? It's really hard to locate it here on this planet. I mean, and say, now we have, what would they say, the kings and queens of, you know, what we see is hijacked. It's an embodiment of hijackation or whatever, where they look human, don't they? But they are kind of cute. They're not at all advanced as human beings. Humane beings, babes, and then that have the intellectual property or belongings of the universe itself, because the universe is 100% human. What part of humane do we not understand when we say we are one with the universe? The universe it shows up to our visibility and access through our relation with each other. It's comprised of expanding and contracting beings. Some people are contracting in awareness and moving away from the truth, and some are opening up to it, and they're gathering in how, really it's how. Um, so thank you for going this far at 3:33. I think so. Have a beautiful rest of the Taurus. I mean, calm down. There's no choice, really. Have a good day.